Gas on cigarettes, my mama think I stink. I got pearls in my hoodies, all the homies think I miss my cocoa butter kisses.
What's up? Welcome to the Frisbee Club BRODcast, episode number 1, Worlds Recap. Let's talk about the key points. It's the Kristen Tatar show. In FPO, she looked better than ever, same as usual. I don't know what you want to call it. She shot a 10.34, probably unofficially rated, opening 8 under par. I think she has a 3-stroke lead. It was also Kristen's 29th 1,000 plus rated round since I think it was last year's World Championships, which is absolutely insane for an FPO disc golfer. I know the idea of Kristen becoming the first ever 1,000 rated female has been thrown around a lot lately, and I think it's gonna happen. I hope it happens this year. I hope she plays enough events the rest of this year to get it over 1,000. I'm not a ratings guru, but I would assume if she continues on the trend that she's on right now, by the end of the year, she would be 1,000 rated, which would be absolutely insane. I think what Kristen Tatar is doing right now is levels above in terms of overall skill and just consistency in FPO. It has never been seen before. I think if you take peak Paige Pierce or anyone else versus peak Kristen Tatar wins 10 times out of 10. I just don't really think it's a question. So right away, 8 down. I think she's got a 3-stroke lead. I think, who is it? Kat Murch, Val Mandujano shot a nice little round as well. I think she shot like a 10.09 rated round, which is obviously still fantastic round. But I think it's clear Kristen's title to lose. I think she goes wire to wire. If she doesn't go wire to wire, it's still 5 rounds, so she could fall to second, third. I think at the end of it all, it's a Kristen Tatar world champion. Yeah, not much more to say about that, I guess. Silva Saarinen, she was absolutely cracked on the greens, reminiscent of like a little Isaac Robinson style. Like she was just slinging in putts, but I don't think she fell apart towards kind of like the end of her round, and I don't think she has the consistency right now to like put it together. But it was sick to see a female player like just absolutely slinging putts in from like circle 2. Val Mandujano, always going to be a factor. I think it's going to come down to like the Val Kristen show, but I don't really think it's going to be that close. I think they're going to have to talk up Val throughout the week and be like, oh yeah, she's 4 strokes back. Like she can definitely, get it done. She can, but I don't think she's ever going to like pick the pace up and like gain on Kristen. I think it'll just be like, it'll probably be Kristen first place by a mile, Val second by a mile, and then third, and the rest of the pack is just gonna all not really matter, I guess. Own, obviously, if you watch today's coverage, her elbow is probably fucked. Who knows? Kind of sucks. It's unfortunate because a lot of the pros have probably been out in Vermont for maybe over a week now practicing. Own did win the mixed doubles world championships, but it might have cost her chance to, I don't think she would have won, but her chance to at least podium at Worlds this year, because I think it just came down to a pitch count thing. I think the overhand style of forehand that Own throws, if you're an athlete, it's commonly known that the baseball throw is one of the most unnatural movements that there is for the human body, and not that Own is straight over the top like a baseball, but she's basically throwing like a sidearm baseball throw for most of her shots. And I think when it comes down to like playing so many practice rounds, playing the mixed doubles, and obviously we're getting towards the end of the season here, I think Own, she's a little bit older. She is, seems to be in like good shape overall, but I think her body might have just finally broke down. You could hear today when she was throwing, like every single throw was like a grunt at the end. She had to like power through even her 20-foot putts that we all know for her are literally not even a thought in her head, tap-ins. But so that kind of sucks, because obviously it'd be fun to watch. I feel like there's not much more to talk about on the FPO side. Zoe Andyke, she seems like probably like the nicest person that there is in disc golf, but get her out of the booth, please. If I had one bad thing to say about the modern day of disc golf commentary, it's that one, there's too many players commenting. I think it's weird that disc golf is still in this place where players competing in the tournament are commenting not on the live broadcast, but I'm talking like the post coverage commentary for the most part. But I think it's weird having players are basically just sucking the dick of their competitors in the commentary booth, and I find it so crazy. I feel like Zoe the whole time. I remember one time vividly, like Paige Shue, like threw an upshot from like 80 feet. That should be routine. You're a professional disc golfer, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like that was just an amazing upshot," and I'm just like, "No, it wasn't. Like that was literally like a jump putt to under the basket. Like that should be a guaranteed shot, you know." And I think it's just too much of like being nice. Like, not that we need to be like super critical, and obviously you want to acknowledge great shots, but there's too much acknowledging completely average to even below average stock standard shots in disc golf commentary that really, I think, have no like real value, but they make them seem like it's just the most insane thing ever. So yeah, sorry, I guess that's just my opinion. I feel like a lot of people kind of think the same, maybe in terms of the commentary, but I definitely feel that way, and I hate watching it in constantly listening to just like, oh, like we get it, they're good at disc golf, but like you don't need to make it seem like that 20-footer was like the greatest fucking putt that's ever been thrown. But that's enough for the FPO side. Let's get into the MPO side, because it's going to be interesting, I think. First off, let's talk about hole 1, Calvin Heimberg off the band on hole 1. Could you imagine if Calvin started off the Worlds ace hole 1? The amount of emotion that we would have saw out of Calvin Heimberg in the last like month would have been more emotion that Calvin Heimberg has showed since he's been on the disc golf scene and people have known who he was. Kind of insane. Would have been sick. Unfortunately, based on the scores right now, Calvin not really having too hot of a round. I think, you know, with 5 rounds and a player at the caliber of Calvin, I think he could easily be one of those dudes who, you know, go shoot that like 13, 14. I'm not super familiar with like the scores on these courses, but an insanely hot round and put himself right back into contention. So I don't think we need to stress just yet, but there is that whole pack of players kind of at that 8, 9. Obviously we got Chris Clemens, who always just seems to like make things happen at tournaments. Every once in a while he just comes out and shoots like this insanely hot round. He's a really good disc golfer, but like he doesn't seem to be able to, you know, hold it together and get that win. But the dude will just get cracked and like make everything hit all the lines. So we got Chris Clemens on the top. Anthony Barella shot a solid 10 down, I want to say it was, starting round, which it's great to see AB come out hot right away, because I feel like AB is a momentum player. I feel like you don't see him like battle back a whole lot. So I think Anthony starting out with a hot round, sitting, I think, in a solo second place right now, is going to be big for him to obviously move into the open course, where I feel like maybe some eagles are potentially in play. He obviously is the furthest thrower on tour right now, so he could definitely make something happen, jump that lead. I think with Chris Clemens, a lot of people are like, damn, great round, Chris. But I don't think many people are expecting him to like keep it up. I saw a tweet that was like, I'll be impressed by Chris Clemens 13 under par when he still has the lead on day 4 or after day 4. And I was like, yeah, like in all honesty, kind of true. Rick, he's got the history. The dude still doesn't know how to wear a hat. If you guys were watching hole number 1, the dude's just got his hat like up like this, and then his hair is literally just like sweaty as fuck down on his face. I understand he's focusing on the disc golf. It doesn't actually matter, but I just think it's so funny. Like, he's just such a good disc golfer, but he's just like so goofy. It's just like, it's hilarious to me. You know, whatever. Also, Rick, bro, if you watch the practice round for Ricky Wysocki, he was talking about how he has this perfect pair of like seasoned in putters. So he's practicing all week with a different pair of putters. And then we get to this round today. The dude is putting a shit brown and orange dagger, like a swirly one. And I'm just like, what? Like, pros need to go back to the days of only putting white putters, black putters, or like that nice prodigy green, because all these dudes got these goofy ass looking putters. I know it's like the old head disc golf in me, like from the early 2000s coming out, but like if you remember like back in the day, like Nate Doss with just a nice pair of white challengers, like it always just looked so clean. And now all the pros out there with these goofy ass burst swirly putters, I think it's the grossest thing ever. So pros, can you please just go back black, white, prodigy green? Like, come on, you guys got access to like every disc on the planet. But also Rick, as of right now, not looking bad at all. He looked actually really good kind of coming out the gates, and then I feel like had a bunch of bad luck, I guess. Had a couple, one park job rolled to like 80, but his lines were looking clean. The putter was looking good. So I think we expect Rick to kind of like dial it in for the weekend and 100% be a contender. Ricky's just too damn good at disc golf to not, I think, in the Worlds. Which brings us to maybe Paul Macbeth. I think Paul looked good. The putt looked good. I think he had a couple misses kind of towards the end. He was throwing some smooth shots. You can tell he was like down tempoing on a lot of his shots. I don't know if he's, obviously Paul, if you don't know, he has an injured shoulder right now. He said that putting is what hurts it the most, but it looked like some of those fairway shots, it's like he was taking these like flippy fairway drivers and just hitting them on a hyzer. They're flipping up just nice and slow. And like, so he's really conserving the body, which obviously he is going to need to do. And I think Paul, I want to say that whole lead card was like sitting around like 4-ish down. I'm sorry that I don't know, but I tried to film this. Like the second that live coverage ended, I literally am out here filming this. But Disc Golf Network, I swear they didn't show the lead card scores for like the whole last half hour of the broadcast. So how the fuck are we supposed to know what their score is? I have no clue. They just show like the leaderboard, and I'm like, nobody on the leaderboard in the top 10 has been on the course for the last 3 hours. So just show us who's actually playing. We've seen this 100 times. We know what's going on. And so I don't know what they're at, but I think they're all sitting around like a 4 through 12, which not bad, not great. Like they could easily get to that like 8-9 down, not easily, they could get to that 8-9 down mark, which would be obviously like a respectable score and would keep them right in the race. 5-round tournament, you never know what's gonna happen. Chris Dickerson, the dude was he probably threw like 6 or 7 tomahawks or forehand rollers straight into a tree, capped it off by punching a tree kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was like a good angle of, you could see him, he like missed his putt and it fucking smacked the tree. And then after, I was expecting him to be like, oh fuck, why'd I do that, like Eagle McMahon broken hand like type shit. It looks to not have bothered his hand actually, but then he continued to, I think, miss like a 20-footer on the next hole, which I'm not gonna say Rick and Dick is out of it, but like he might, you can tell mentally he wasn't having it this round. So maybe though that could account for like a nice finish to tomorrow's round, because it'll kind of be like a fresh day, fresh start. Maybe he comes out firing. I know there's a lot of birdies on the back half, so you never know. The fucking dog, Greg Barsby. The guy still wears whatever hiking shoes he finds at the sale rack at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, which I totally respect because I do the same thing. Like, I ain't about to pay full price for a pair of disc golf shoes. Just got these Ultras for literally, I think, $60 at the Shields used rack, used bin. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. So I feel you, Barsby. He's always got this random ass pair of hiking shoes on. They're always like brown. The dude looks cool, and he's got some brown shoes on. It wouldn't be disc golf content without a plane flying above, guys. We're gonna wait it out. Every time. But Barsby, he's looking confident out there. Once again, that lead card, no one's playing super hot, but Barsby, he's running the long putts. He had that little forehand run. He's looking confident. Hopefully he scraps together, 7-8 down, keeps himself in the mix, because I love watching Barsby play, and I want to see him, on at least lead or chase card throughout the weekend, because I just like watching the guy play. I think it's like, you know, he's a momentum guy. When he's feeling good, I feel like he's playing good, and I want to see that happen. Speaking of, another guy I want to see fucking be on the lead or chase card is Matty O. He's sitting at 8 down right now, which respectable. First down, I feel like 8 down is like the marker for this day one. Whereas like I feel like if you're sitting at that 8 down or better, you're sitting pretty, you got time, you're playing well. Matty O, I think we all know when Greg Barsby won the Worlds back in 2018, it was like the career maker. He's been like that legendary player for so long. He wins a tournament here or there, but Greg Barsby winning Worlds solidified like his legacy and probably got him paid for the rest of his career, if we're being honest. And I think Matty O needs that same thing. The dude has been on the road for like 20 years. I think it's like somewhat like not common, but like public knowledge that he's talked about how like until West Side kind of hooked it up, he's always, been like really scraping by financially. Like he needs to be out there winning, playing well at tournaments, making that money. And then West Side finally was like, yo, we'll actually fucking pay you, which is great, because Matty O's like one of the most entertaining players in the game. And towards this tail end of his career, he's just turned it up another notch. But I think Matty O winning a major Worlds would like set him up for the rest of his life. I think it would be an amazing thing to see, is Matty O winning a World Championships. Let's talk about Nicholas Antilla. Nicholas Antilla. I don't know how to fucking say it. Either way, the dude is a fucking sniper in the woods. He threw so many upshots that were like, I don't know what course it was at. It might have been here last year, because I know he played well last year, where he threw in, I don't think it was an ace, but I think it was an eagle, like through the woods. The dude is they say, I think Philo said, the guy's a technician. When he gets in the woods, the dude throws on these angles. If I'm looking at Nicholas Antilla, I don't really like his form. I think it looks like robotic and a little bit ugly, but you cannot deny that the man knows where his disc is going. The amount of upshots they showed on Disc Golf Network of him just like 300 feet through the woods, like hitting an angle perfect, and it slides up to inside bullseye. You can't deny that the guy could make a push. He's fucking been cracked, like, since last year's USDGC battle. He's one of them players where you just never know, could make it happen. Say Aaron Gossage, the dude, Goss has been struggling on the greens, to say the least. But the guy's getting fucking nerdy today. Like in the last, I feel like Aaron, if you looked it up on how many strokes, on like the tournaments where he's played well, but he obviously hasn't got the win. If you looked at like his inside the circle misses, if you put him at like even like maybe like a low 90 percentile, he might have a couple wins. Don't quote me on that, because I could be so far off. But as of late, Goss has not been putting the putter in the basket. He's been having a couple air balls. He's been caging them. But he hit hole 8 and hole 10 C2 jumpers, just bangers. And then everything else was just going in. The dude's got a clean scorecard going, playing well. And I feel like he's got that. I feel like when you play well at Worlds, on like your literal breakout performance at the World Championships against Paul McBeth, you lose in a playoff, which is going to get you respect for like almost the rest of your career until people forget about it. He has probably a little bit more confidence just at the Worlds than a lot of these other younger players, because he's been in the situation. I feel like he's turning it up and like really like showing up for this event, and I hope he continues all weekend, because like I feel like out on the longer course, out on Fox Run, we all know how he literally dissected fucking Emporia and just threw perfect shot after perfect shot, landing zone after landing zone. And I feel like Fox Run is a very similar course where you've probably heard a lot of the pros say it's not a distance course. It's a long course, but it's not necessarily a distance course. It's a placement course. And the weather's supposed to be nice the rest of the week. And I think you got Goss with that power backhand, power forehand. He's a one-angle player. Nate Doss loves to say it. He's a one-angle player, and I think Fox Run is another course that Goss could come out and really lay down like a heater if the putter stays hot, because freaking, I don't know what he's throwing on those stable shots. Like maybe Nuke OS, maybe just some Beef Dog Forces, maybe Beef Dog Nukes. Not totally sure. And then he's got the trusty Buzz OS, and then he's got the zones, obviously. And like, I feel like if that putter is going in for Goss, we could see him, you know, up towards the top again all weekend, maybe battling. Who knows? But guys, exciting week. I haven't watched much like coverage in quite some time, really. I don't know why, it just hasn't really interested me lately. I've been really busy with like my own things, but with Worlds Week coming up and at a beautiful property out in Vermont, like I hate when Worlds is at like Emporia, because I think it's the shittiest disc golf ever to watch. Like that place just gives such bad vibes to me. But a place like Vermont is just like magical. Like I feel like that's where disc golf belongs. So I'm super excited to like keep up on everything this week. And I think it's gonna be a crazy week. I want to see Kristen win. I want to, if I could pick my perfect situation, I feel like I would go Kristen win, Matty O win, but I'd have to give Paul that second just to keep that streak alive, because that's also badass. I would love to see Paul win as well, because I like to see cool things happen. I feel like it's very similar to like people who hate on Tom Brady for like no reason. Like, aren't you just happy you get to live through a time when you're seeing like one of the greatest athletes to do a sport ever live, and you're getting to just witness it? And that's how I feel with Paul Macbeth. Is people like don't want him to win, but I'm like, think if you can like look back and just be like, wow, I got to watch like the Paul Macbeth reign happen firsthand. I think it's fucking sick, and I think we're gonna have the same thing kind of with Kristen going forward. So it's gonna be insane to see. But I'm super excited for the Worlds. Let me know down below, guys. What are you thinking about the World Championships so far? I think day one, interesting. It's like would it really be the Pro Tour this year without a weather delay? You know, finishing the last couple holes in the dark. I think it's probably a good thing that they stopped and didn't play what would have been like 6 more holes that aren't necessarily going to be like short or in the open. So I don't think it would have went very well. Probably a smart play to call it. Also with the time difference, I couldn't really like, clearly it's still light out here. I don't know, looked pretty dark there towards the end, so not exactly ideal. Oh dude, the ads, fucking horrible. Still guys, disc golf ads. So I come from like a content background. Like I did freelance videography, and I'm not saying I was good at it. I just like did it, I guess. So I'm not like saying I know how to make the perfect video or anything, but like holy shit, are those ads like bad? Like it's like they just don't. I think disc golf is in a spot right now where maybe the ads, to be completely honest, they don't matter. They do get talked about, you know. Everyone knows the Lone Star ads are laughable, but they're a popular topic, so maybe it's working. Like all publicity is good publicity, like, so maybe it doesn't really matter. But that new Thought Space ad, I know you guys saw it. I think they only ran it like at the beginning. It's just cringy, guys. Disc golf companies, put some money into these ads and like, you know, make it not laughable, I guess. I can't handle it, guys. It drives me insane. Well, guys, that's pretty much gonna do it for the World's key takeaways from Worlds round number 1. What a week we're looking forward to here. It's gonna be exciting no matter what. I think there's too many good players out on the tour right now to not have this be probably the most exciting Worlds in recent. Well, maybe not. Fucking last year was pretty exciting, huh, guys? Who fucking knows? Gonna be crazy. Beautiful property. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of content, because if you watched my last video, you know I absolutely fucked my hip at the gym a couple days ago, and I can barely walk right now. Like I literally can't even like straighten my leg out. It's like I don't know if this is my hip flexor or what. And so I'm hoping in like 3-4 days it feels good and I can get back out to throwing, making my normal style of content. But also it does not feel great, and my shoulder's been a little wrecked lately. So quick tip, if something's hurting, so my shoulder was hurting, just hurt another body part so that you forget about the first one, it heals up, and then you're just worrying about the new injury. So that's what I'm doing. But like I was saying, hope you guys enjoy this style of content. As I move forward with the Frisbee Club broadcast, hopefully bring you guys some enjoyable, entertaining, valuable content. I don't know what this is going to be, to be completely honest. Basically all it's going to be is me talking right at you. Could be about disc golf, could completely not be about disc golf at all sometimes. It could be literally, I want to talk about something and I'm going to go talk about it. And if you watch it, I guess you watched it. And hope you get something out of whatever it is that I sit here and talk about. Because obviously I like to talk. And another reason I've been wanting to start this style of like content up is because a lot of you guys have probably seen in my recent videos that I've talked a lot about wanting to actually improve my disc golf game again and focus more on like the actual play, like actually focusing in on all the shots and playing with a purpose while I'm out at the course, rather than like playing with the purpose of creating content, which is usually geared towards what I'm talking about. So I found it really hard lately to talk about like the topics I usually would cover out on the course while still trying to play a good round and actually focus on my shots in practice. And I'm actually going to go really, really in depth on that topic probably in an episode next week. So if that's something you're interested in, look out for that. It's kind of where I'll cut it off right now. But if you're still watching here at the end, thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one. I'll probably do a end of the week full worlds recap as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.